Hello and happy Mother's Day. And in honor of this day, I want to do 2 oils with 2 points and to also bring to light this concept of motherhood. And if it were a relationship, it had a relationship status on Facebook, it would be, it's complicated, right? Because motherhood has so much within it, and we have this day to celebrate it, and within this day to celebrate it, there is it's complicated, and we come out and we're happy Mother's Day, but there's a lot of triggers, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of grief that can also come up on Mother's Day. So I want to offer up two oils with 2 acupoints to really honor and its relationship status. The one to really celebrate and to ground and to and be the archetypal mother, this vetiver essential oil, and then one to acknowledge and bring forward the grief that can come up around this day. And I think this really sort of hit home, or just became more in my awareness when I used to wait tables in my 20s and seeing how people would come out to celebrate their mother, but there was this air of resentment. It was the oddest thing, and there's this air of resentment of people taking their mothers out. They were grumpy, they were like, tips were terrible, and I witnessed this over several years. And I waited tables for almost a decade, and there was just this weird like, I don't know how to explain it, but there was just this weird like that would happen on Mother's Day to celebrate mothers and celebrate mothers, and it's so I think that I think it really like was like, oh, there's something here, right? It's complicated, and you'll hear me say that a couple times throughout this video. And then the other thing is I spent many years, I'm an acupuncturist. I didn't introduce myself. I just assume you know me, but my name's Jenny King. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. And what I did a lot of years of work with fertility and sitting as witness to women trying to get pregnant, and then taking my term in that. I have a 6-year-old son. I had him when I was 42 years old. I went through IVF. I had year after year of failure. I had an ectopic pregnancy. And like right after that, my mother came to visit me. My birthday sometimes falls on Mother's Day. And she was showing me pictures on Facebook of all her friends' kids or grandkids or babies. And I just remember being like, Mom, can you put that away? Like, it feels really jarring to, my journey at this point, because I just had that ectopic pregnancy. And so motherhood, it's complicated. So let's celebrate its complication. And motherhood as an archetype is all about sacrifice. It is embodying, it's holding, it's a container. It is the ultimate yin, right? And so we're going to take this rooty oil, vetiver, and I'm using it at a 25 to 30% dilution. Vetiver is a very thick oil. It's very fragrant, and it's dense, and it's created from roots, and these roots are roots of a grass, and they go down 14 feet. So we're going to take these roots, and we're going to invoke them in ourselves. If you don't have vetiver, you can use a sweet woody oil like sandalwood or cedarwood, and you might be even use those at a 100% dilution. We're using them. Aroma Point Therapy is a single oil on an acupoint, so we're not rubbing it all over our body, because that's not okay. But single oil on an acupoint is okay. So we're going to take vetiver, we're going to place it on our index finger, and we're going to actually put it on our belly button. So I'm finding my belly button, and I'm going to just take the oil, and I'm going to just do a circle around my belly button, and then rub my hands together so they're nice and warm, and place them over my belly. And vetiver is the mother archetype, is the mother embodied. Feeling this sink into this place that you are originally connected with your mother, your matrilineal line, and then feeling the roots that go down into the earth. Your roots, feeling the earth mother supporting you. And the connection with mother can be very fraught with disappointment. It can be very, again, the archetype of mother is all encompassing, and no living woman can ever live up to that because we're human. And so, of course, our mothers are flawed. Of course, we are flawed as mothers. So letting all of that go down into the ground and down through the root system, letting it be composted into the Mother Earth, any disappointment. And when we're children, we ground through our mother. Our mother is supposed to be that container who holds that space for us to grow. And if that's not there, it's really hard to come in and mother yourself later on in life. So finding that space to find that mother energy within you. And then also honoring, if you are a mother, the mom guilt, the places that you fail, the challenge. Motherhood is about sacrifice, the challenge and sacrifices that you make on a big scale and small scale every day. This pandemic is probably really, it's one of the populations that I think have been really hit or challenged have been mothers because of the lack of childcare. And really bringing that home of like that, who's really kind of in charge of the children still even in this modern day and age, and the importance of that job, but it's exhausting. So again, just allowing that to kind of run, feeling that and letting that run down into the earth, recycling it, giving it back to the earth mama, with this vetiver essential oil and its deep, deep roots. Again, your children ground through you. So if you're the one that's been having to hold the space for a couple of years, and it's really fatiguing. And this oil is nourishing, it's thick, it's rich, it's viscous. It's like, it's got that nourishment to it. So letting yourself soak in some of that nourishment through your belly button, through the roots that you're growing into the earth. Okay, so that's our first oil and point combination, and really just, again, embodying that mother archetype and that place of stability, the container that motherhood is, and honoring what we have and what we don't have. And then we're going to move into Saro, which is an essential oil. You can also use which it's like an evergreen leaf. You can also use Cypress as a really nice substitution. You could also use like Rosemary. Wouldn't have quite the same action, but it would still have like a pungent lifting action, and we'll still be working with the point. And even if you don't have these oils, you can still work with the points and just listen to my words and the transmission of kind of the message of these oils and points. So our second point is called Lung 7. It's the master point for our yin in our body. Again, if you remember the yin, if you've seen that yin and yang sign, right? And they have to work together, and we have to have the yin is the mother. The mother is motherhood archetype is yin, right? It is the container, like I said. And so the master point of the yin opens up. It's the center line of our body, this place of care, of self-care, of being able to kind of like our core. And our core needs to be solid and substantial in order for us to be juicy and alive and upright in a way that's with heart. And so we're going to use Saro essential oil, and our point to find it is pretty easy. You can take the V in your hands, and you're going to wrap your index finger around into these points. And it's not on the high point. You're going to drop around the bone into this hollow that's here. And so I'm going to place a drop of Saro into these points. So I'm going to divide my oil between two fingers. And then wrap them around, and you can do both at the same time. You have to do a little finagling to get it there, but you can do it, or you can do them one at a time. And yeah. Taking a moment just to breathe the oil in. And motherhood, again, the grief that comes from never living up to trying to live up to impossible standards. The grief of the fatigue of the last 2 years. The grief of perhaps not being able to be a mother in this lifetime for whatever reason. The grief of not having the mother that you wanted. The grief of losing a mother that you loved. The grief of losing a child, heaven forbid. There's so much joy and so much loss in being in a female body and in motherhood and childhood. So honoring all of that, the complicatedness of being a mother, maybe the grief of the sacrifices that you've made to be a mother. Just taking a few moments to acknowledge, say hello to honor all of the feelings and the messiness of motherhood. And when you feel something shift, you can be done. I'm not going to hold for too long because we were on a video. Taking a nice deep breath in to honor the oil, to take it in a different way. And so I hope that this short video helps you remember all of the pieces and parts and of yourself, helps you remember that, Happy Mother's Day is a thing, and it's also not a thing. And wherever you are in all of it is just exactly where you need to be, and see yourself in this day and find the beauty in it, but also recognize it's complicated. So thank you for your time. If you do these oil and point combinations, I'd love to hear from you. How does this land for you? What do you resonate with? And do they help you? All right. So much love. My heart to yours. Take care.